The west coast of Tasmania is a landmass we've realised more recently, about a quarter the size of Ireland. We're talking about a very big part of Tasmania, but only 4,000 people live in the entire region. It's about a 4.5 hour drive from Hobart and from Launceston, and to explain what that experience is like, you'll be driving through genuine World Heritage rainforest, very mountainous, snow-capped peaks, down through valleys, and then eventually you'll get to Queenstown, and that town is almost the exact opposite. It's a mining town, and generations of mining have completely destroyed the landscape. So you've got this moonscape environment that in the 1980s was fairly bare, but these days is regrowing, but slowly. So you'll notice the difference in the landscape very, very suddenly. And it's also very wet. We actually measure rainfall in metres in Queenstown and on the west coast, so 3.5 metres of rainfall per year. And then you'll drive down a winding road down the moonscape and you'll land in the Queenstown Valley amidst a very small, tight-knit community. So it's a very specific place, and it's a very special place.
The weather is, it's kind of what you'd say interesting. One day we'd have snow, the next day we have frost, the next day we have lots of rain. It can be challenging at times with the weather, depending on what you want to do. It can delay things that you want to do, but it makes us who we are. You cannot have rainforest without the rain. The ruggedness, the colours in the mountains to the rainforest, and it's just unsurprising. So every bend that you might be travelling on the road, you don't know what's next, you don't know what's ahead of you. Just seeing the small towns, and each of the towns is so different to one another. They are quite contrast, and I do believe that, you know, they are after that rugged experience. They want to see the rainforest, they want to enjoy and touch the rain, not have a drought. So it's a completely different experience to me. I love it. I'm pretty proud to live here.
We don't have any traffic lights here. So if you want to go to the chemist or the hairdressers or the butchers, you just park out the front.
There are so many things here that, standing on Ocean Beach and realising that the next landfall is 12,000 kilometres away. Realising that with this rain gives us the purest water in the world and the cleanest air in the world.
It gets into your blood, and it's just the place that we love to be. It's the place that you wake up in the morning and open the curtains and go, what the hell did I do to deserve this view every morning? The mountains sing at you, they glint at you in the afternoon when the sun sets on them, and it's an absolute honour to be a part of this place. We're blessed with our lakes for fishing, for boating, for just floating, and not a care in the world. And the silence sometimes is deafening. People come here and they go, oh, I can't stand it, it's too quiet. And I go, wow, really? Because the silence is, I think, part of the pristine nature of the place, is that you can actually get in contact with yourself, get in contact with nature. On the West Coast, we are the best, because what we have here is totally different to any other part of Tassie.
The West Coast is predictably unpredictable. It can be beautiful like it is today, it can be wild, it can be windy, it can be wet and drizzly. It was built by tough people, people with vision, people that were here to forge a future. If you can't buy it, you make it. If you can't make what you want, you make do. And that's how the West Coast was forged.
A lot more tourists than that are now coming to the West Coast because they're realising, how beautiful the West Coast and that is. And I mean, we used to only get tourists here in the summertime, but we're getting more and more here now coming through the winter time. Here 15, 20 years ago, we had no, you would be lucky in this place here, you'd be lucky to see 1 or 2 people a week. Now more and more people are coming to the West Coast because there is just, so much to do on the West Coast in the winter time, not just in the summertime.
So the big ticket items are the railway and the boat out in Strahan. But I think hopefully they're looking for that immersion into the wilderness, and that's always one of the big things and big comments that people kind of talk about is the wilderness and the terrain and so this rugged, this wild west coast that they're in. And I think that's what a lot of people are either looking for or they're blown away by, and kind of takes them by surprise a little bit as well. And you get to do some incredible things, from playing the oversized train set to all day, to kayaking, to being out on rivers, to bushwalking. There's just so many amazing things you can do, and it's an incredible industry to be part of and show people what an awesome place we live in.
This is a 100% created festival from the ground up every 2 years. However, some of the key differences are that we now embrace a really diverse program across different art forms. So we have dance, we have theatre, we have music in strange locations, we have visual art still, we have film aspects, an unconventional set of experiences that are actually spread throughout the whole valley. So you arrive in Queenstown and you know that the Unconformity is on.
Absolutely the best coast indeed.